Hello, this is Kean from Football Obsession, and today we've got a very, very, very special guest on this episode in Fabrizio Romano. How are you, Fabrizio?
Hello, my friend. I'm fine. Thank you for the invitation. Big
That
pleasure to be here together.
that's good. That's good. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming to do this with me. Um, I've got a few questions which may seem outside of the box, and also a few questions which will have been asked on an everyday basis. So I'm just gonna get started and ask you. As a teenager, what was your favourite ever transfer?
You mean years ago? You mean in the past?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Ah,
so for example, when you were like a teenager.
yes. And to be honest with you, I was really excited when I saw the swap deal between Inter and Barcelona, Zlatan Ibrahimovic to Barcelona and Samuel Eto'o to Inter. There was something really incredible to have this kind of swap deal with two fantastic players like Ibrahimovic and Eto'o. So, and Inter also received 50 million euro and won everything with Samuel Eto'o in their team, with Jose Mourinho as manager. So I go with this one. I was really surprised. I still remember when this news was released. I was like, with no words, because looking at Ibrahimovic joining Barcelona with Leo Messi and a lot of stars, and Eto'o joining Inter, and look how football is strange, because Inter were beating Barcelona in semi-finals in Champions League and won the Champions League.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Obviously, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is a footballing legend, and always will be. So moving on from that, it sort of ties in with the question you just answered. What is your favourite ever transfer story? It can be in the world of journalism or when you were young.
Oh, I go with Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United because it changed my life. So for me, it was so important to give this news. It was so important also to manage this news during the summer. This summer when Bruno was
Yeah,
close to join Manchester United, and I was denying the news because every day Manchester United fans were asking me about Bruno joining United from Portugal, from England. They were saying he's done, he's coming, he's flying to Manchester. So every day was a rumor about Bruno, and I was saying no, he's not joining this summer. And I remember Manchester United fans were angry during the summer, but then at the end of the window they said you were right. So they appreciated me. And then when in January I broke the news of Bruno joining United, the pick of his agent together with Bruno on the plane, ready to fly to Manchester. I remember was incredible to me and was incredible also for people following me. So I go with this one because it was beautiful feeling to be shared also with my followers and people that read my news. So I was really happy, and I go with this one.
okay, that's great because I love Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, I'm a Manchester United fan. I go to the games and I love him. So I've been asked to ask the midfield United latest because we obviously we're desperate for a midfield and we go crazy about transfers. Is there any latest on the midfield?
No, at the moment, no, because I think the two main targets for Manchester United were Pogba and Varane, Sancho and Varane, and they've been great in also in timing to sign these two players. So they are happy with these two signings. And now whatever is going to happen in the next 2 weeks will be about outgoing. So we need to see how many players will be leaving the club, and then they will decide also about the midfielder. So let's see what happens with the situation of Nemanja Matic, of many other players to decide if they want to sign a new midfielder or not. For sure, they have a list. They like Camavinga, they like Ruben Neves, many players in the list. But at the moment, there is nothing like advanced or imminent because they are still waiting to see how many players are going to leave the club in the next days. And so outgoings are key, not just for Manchester United, but for all top clubs involved in the transfer market. Now it's important to sell players. Look what's happening, for example, at Barcelona, but also Manchester United. They have many players to get rid or to decide what they want to do with this kind of players. And also some situation could change during the window, as happened for Diogo Dalot. He's back, and now he's an important player, was having a fantastic preseason. So that's why maybe the feeling also around the players could be different after the preseason.
Okay, that's 100% fine. I understand we need to get some outgoings as well. So moving on from Manchester United to one of our rivals, Manchester City. I've seen your latest on Harry Kane and the exclusive yesterday. Is there any latest news, and is there a backup option for Manchester City if they don't manage to get Harry Kane?
At the moment, I don't know about the backup option, but I know that they want Harry Kane 100%. They're pushing on Harry Kane, and as I said yesterday, they have a new bid ready for Harry Kane because they already proposed 150 million euro. They are working on player side, on club side, and ready to jump in the deal with this bid if Tottenham will change their stance in the next days. the feeling around Harry Kane is that there are still chances for Manchester City to sign the player in the next 2 weeks. So we will see, because it will be really interesting to see how it develops, with Tottenham still saying they want to keep the player. They have not received any new bid after the opening one in June. So at the moment, for Tottenham, they are still on the same position. But Manchester City want Harry Kane. They are still working to sign Harry Kane. They are still pushing to sign Harry Kane. So I think it would be interesting to see what happens in the next days. But I still see City pushing and going for Harry Kane.
Okay, personally, I hope they don't get him, but obviously it will be a very interesting transfer. This is a very out of the box question as well. Is there an unrealistic transfer that you would like to see this summer?
Yes, I hope. I like these kind of things, but I think the biggest one was Leo Messi to Paris Saint-Germain. Was something incredible to me. To be honest, I was really shocked. And if you told me 1 week ago, on Wednesday of past week, about Leo Messi joining Paris Saint-Germain, it was seeming like a joke, because he had an agreement in place with Barcelona. It was done to sign the new contract, to stay at Barcelona for the next 5 years, and then everything collapsed. And in 7 days, he was joining Paris Saint-Germain. So it's been really fast and really unexpected, because I was not expecting this kind of move for Leo Messi. And so I think for this window with surprises, we are done with Leo Messi. Let's see what happens in the next 2 weeks. But Leo Messi was a big one.
Yeah, 100%. It was. I was actually on my way. I was on my way to going somewhere, and I saw that hypothetical news that something has happened with Messi, and then it was a little bit of news, and then I saw you say official. It will not be. He will not be continuing at Barcelona. Because I do have your tweet notifications on, so I do see your tweets. But yeah, it's very interesting question, that, because an unrealistic transfer that I'd like to see is Ronaldo to come back to Manchester United. I only got to see him when I was young.
As of now, I think there is nothing. Until there is nothing, because Ronaldo has a huge salary for 31 million euro net per season. So it's really difficult to think in this football to have this kind of contracts after COVID would be really complicated. So at the moment, the situation is still quiet around Cristiano Ronaldo. Juventus Vice President Pavel Nedved and also Juventus directors always say that he is staying this summer. And then we will see what happens next summer, because if he's not extending the contract with Juventus, he will be a free agent in June 2022. So maybe it could be an opportunity for many clubs, and we will see what happens also with English clubs, maybe with United or with different clubs around the world, I would say, because Cristiano as free agent would be one of the biggest opportunities ever. Okay, 100%. Now he's not so young, but what a player, always
of course.
A fantastic leader and goal scorer. So at the moment with Manchester United, there is nothing. And I still remember someone reporting of a swap deal, Pogba, Ronaldo, earlier in the summer. Was not true. There was nothing.
Okay. Are you there? Sorry, it just lagged then. But you're back now. Is there any top 6 club in the Premier League that look like they are possibly about to sign someone or making the next signing?
This is a good question. I'm curious to see what happens with Arsenal with Martin Odegaard, because I think they want to go again for him. They always had him as priority target as number 10, because Maddison was really difficult as target and was really complicated. So Martin Odegaard has always been the priority for Arsenal. And they are working on it with Real Madrid. They're waiting for the green light for Real Madrid, like saying, okay, now we're waiting for the official bid, but they're in talks, they're negotiating. Let's see if they can find an agreement. But also the player is open to join Arsenal back from Real Madrid after his good loan spell at Arsenal last season. So I think there are good chances for Odegaard to come back to Arsenal. And in my opinion, it's an interesting move, because we are talking about a young player, but really talented. He was so appreciated by Arteta, so appreciated also by Edu Gaspar, the director. So they have a good feeling between this player and Arsenal. Good atmosphere also around the player in the last month. So I think it could be one of the next moves in the top clubs of the Premier League.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting, because I know that Martin Odegaard has been around for like 5 years now. He's been around since he was a very young player, and he still is a very young player, and he's a good player as well, and quite experienced, playing at one of the top clubs in the world at Real Madrid. Is there any possible outgoings you can see this summer? Obviously, Manchester United have just signed Varane as well, but is there any possible outgoings?
At the moment, I will keep an eye on this one with Odegaard, and I don't see many others. Maybe Vallejo could be one, but I don't see big names leaving Real Madrid, also because they lost Sergio Ramos and they lost Varane, and they're maybe going to lose Martin Odegaard to rejoin Arsenal. So I think they have to keep their best players, and they are going to keep their best players. So I don't see any big revolution happening at Real Madrid. Let's see, because in the transfer market, you never know. But as of now, the situation is really quiet around the team. Okay, they lost Sergio Ramos and Varane, but they signed David Alaba as fantastic signing as free agent. So they're happy with the team they have. And also Ancelotti is a kind of manager that is not like creating problems to the club or this kind of things. He's happy with the team he has, and he's ready to compete with this kind of team.
Okay, yeah, 100%. Speaking about Rafael Varane, is there any? Is it possible we could get some like clarification on what is happening with this situation here? He's not trained or anything yet.
I'm told that he was training. Then, of course, they can say this because it's normal. It's part of the game. But he was training with the team. It's done. It's done. The contract has been signed 2 days ago. Everything has been completed. Medicals are okay. Quarantine has been completed. It's just about paperwork. So they need to complete something on this technical side. But to be honest with you, I don't know about the details, because there are technical sides about the contracts and these kind of things between Varane and Manchester United, lawyers, Real Madrid. So they're working to complete everything, but there is absolutely no doubt everything has been signed. So the player is training with Manchester United. Also, if all they say is no, because it's normal to say no when the player is not officially yours, but it's part of the game. And Varane will be soon announced as Manchester United player. There is no doubt.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Speaking about Manchester United outgoings as well, is there any specific players you can see possibly going out?
We have to keep an eye on the situation of Lingard, because for sure Lingard and Andreas Pereira, I would say. For Lingard, there was always the possibility with West Ham, but now it's not imminent. So let's see what happens in the next days. Maybe West Ham are waiting for Manchester United to be open to sell the player at a different price. So maybe in the next days, the situation of Lingard will be clear. Also, if I'm told that he's a good professional, he's training so well, always happy about how he's training. So at the moment, the situation is a bit quiet, but maybe in the next days for Lingard, something could happen. Andreas Pereira received some approach from Turkey, from Fenerbahce, but nothing advanced yet. And Lazio are still thinking of him as a possibility for the midfield after his loan spell last season. So these are the most, I think, quality players to leave maybe Manchester United in the coming weeks. And then also Amad Diallo, maybe on loan, could be a possibility for many clubs are asking and inquiring about him. Let's see what Manchester United will decide on him. And that's it, because I think that Diogo Dalot has huge chances to stay at the club. As I said before, he's having a good preseason, and I'm really happy because I like this player, and I think he could be really one of the most surprising players of the next season in the Premier League if he will be staying at Manchester United, because he was really good here in Italy with AC Milan, also at the Euros with Portugal, and at the Euros under-21 with the Portugal national young team. So, I think that at the moment the situation is more with Pereira and Lingard.
Okay, yeah. When you were speaking about Amad Diallo, I've heard that you really like Amad Diallo from seeing him in Italy. Yeah, do you like him as a young player?
Yes. We know him here in Italy because he's always been one of the best players among the youth football here in Italy, academies and these kind of things. He's coming from the academy of Atalanta. It's the best maybe here in Italy we have, because they are always going with many talents in this academy. So they're really, really good in this work. And yes, Amad is fantastic. He's a fantastic guy. He's really humble. He's really focused on football, really professional. Easy guy. He's not acting like a star, but he's really simple, really humble. And so we have always had positive relationship with Amad when he was here in Italy. And also he's been always really, really focused on football. He always wanted to become a football professional player at top level. Playing at Manchester United is a dream for him. So I'm sure that he needs some time, of course, because he's so young, and he was not even playing in the first team here in Italy with Atalanta. He did something with Atalanta first team 2 or 3 times, but it was like 60 minutes total with the first team. Yeah. So he needs some time to adapt, because Manchester United are one of the biggest clubs in the world. But I'm sure that for the future will be one of the most interesting talents to see. His potential is incredible. So it's up to him.
Yeah, us Manchester United fans are very, very excited to see him progress and hope he does progress. There's another question that I've sort of been asked to ask by Liverpool fans. Is there any possible incomings with Liverpool at the moment?
I think Jurgen Klopp has been really honest on this situation also in the last months and in the last hours, when he said we need to sell players. If we don't sell players, we have this team and we continue with this team. So it's important to see what happens with Shaqiri and Olympique Lyon. It's important to see what happens with Origi. They have many players at Liverpool, many players at the moment. This is what they think, and they think that they're going to sign maybe a player in an attacking position if they're selling some players in the next days. So Shaqiri or Origi, keep an eye on these two names. And about the midfielder, today Klopp was really clear. He said we have many midfielders in the team, and they are not desperate to find a replacement for Wijnaldum. So at the moment, they are really quiet on this situation. They think that if they will have an opportunity, they will jump in this kind of opportunity, but it's not something imminent. And then let me remind to Liverpool fans that they signed Ibrahima Konate, that I know they signed in May, and so the feeling is not like when you sign a player in August, but he's a good player. They signed him for the release clause, but without the release clause, they had to pay maybe 60 or 70 million euro for him, and they paid 35. So really good deal. Chelsea wanted him. Many clubs around Europe wanted him, and Liverpool have been smart in signing this player. So let's see what happens. But at the moment, the situation is a bit quiet because they're happy with the team they have. And as Klopp said, new contracts are key for Liverpool because they were in danger with these players. Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho, Alexander-Arnold, and soon also Firmino, Mo Salah, Mane. They need to fix the situation, and they're working on it.
Okay, yeah, okay. They need to extend the contracts, and onto contracts as well. We Manchester United fans had some news yesterday that James Garner had rejected a new contract and is keeping his options open from Manchester United. Is there any truth in that?
I think it's one of the situations to keep an eye on in the next days. I'm told that there is still no decision imminent at the moment. Is one of the things to keep an eye on in the next days, in the next weeks, and we will see. But at the moment, I'm told that there is still nothing 100% decided on this point.
Okay, and this is the probably going to be the last question, but a very, very interesting question. If there's one transfer in the past, in the world of football ever, that you could have been the first to break the news on, which would it have been?
This is a good question. I would say Ronaldo fenomeno to Real Madrid, because it was incredible. It was incredible, and I still think that Ronaldo, after Diego Maradona, has been the best player of the history. So yeah. I loved Ronaldo, and so I go with this one because it was huge with Real Madrid involved. I think that the power that has Real Madrid on the world of football is incredible. So I go with this one.
Okay, yeah, that's a very interesting answer, because my favorite player ever is Cristiano Ronaldo too, and I adore him. I'd love him back at United no matter what. And so I'm going to ask you another question here. What made you start to support Watford?
Yes, I love Watford because I was watching the famous match between Leicester and Watford with Manuel Almunia saving the penalty, and then Troy Deeney scoring the late goal was incredible. And that's how it started. Then I started to have some contacts with the board of Watford when I started to be a journalist. They have Italian ownership, so the link was so direct. And for me, it was just a pleasure to follow Watford. Then I've been at Vicarage many times, and I love the atmosphere. I like this kind of things more than top clubs. I like small clubs, small. I love Watford, but okay, it's not so big. But with beautiful atmosphere, with positive atmosphere, young talents, I really like it. So that's why I love Watford, and I'm a Watford fan.
That's very interesting because obviously you've just come up to the Premier League again, and I assume you'll be very happy about that.
Yes.
I hope you do well in Premier League.
Yes, will be difficult, of course, because when you're coming from the second division, it's never easy. But I think they're doing something interesting. They have some talent in the club, as always, in the team. So I'm positive also because the manager, Xisco, is so good, and the manager was a huge problem at Watford when they were relegated 2 years ago. So now I think they have good situation, good atmosphere, and I hope they will continue in the Premier League.
Yeah, I hope you do well. Fabrizio's got to go now, haven't you, Fabrizio?
Sorry?
Have you got to go now? Because it was 20 minutes.
Yes. In 2 minutes, I have to go. Yes.
Okay. I just want to say thank you very much for coming on this podcast.
Thank you.
I'm a young YouTuber in terms of the fact that I am 18 and I only started in April when the Super League proposals came about. So I'm trying to grow. So you know. Yeah.
Great. I'm happy for you. Good luck for everything. Whatever you need, you can send me email, and will be a pleasure to stay in touch. Good luck for your project, and thank you for inviting me.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a nice day. So that's the interview with Fabrizio Romano there, guys. I was very, very nervous about that today. I've been nervous about it for days, but I'm going to go through what he has clarified. As a teenager, what's his favourite ever transfer? His favourite ever transfer, a very interesting answer, was Zlatan Ibrahimovic to Barcelona swap deal with Samuel Eto'o to Inter Milan. Favorite ever transfer. Very interesting. His favorite ever transfer story, which I love. It was Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United. Bruno. An unrealistic Harry Kane latest. Manchester City are really pushing to sign Harry Kane. I pray that they don't, because obviously I hope it upsets the apple cart or whatever the phrase is. I hope it upsets it, but it looks like they're just going to be an unstoppable force. I know he's lost against Leicester, which I was glad about, but it looks like they're going to be unbelievable. I can't wait for this season, because we've just signed Varane, Sancho. City have signed Grealish, which I'm sad about. They might sign Harry Kane. Chelsea have signed Lukaku, which I'm not too bothered about. I think he's obviously an unbelievable player, unbelievable goal scorer. But at the time when we signed, when he was playing for us, he weren't great. He weren't playing great in terms of playing in the game. He scored a lot of goals, but I think the striker position's a lot more than that. So Manchester City really pushing to sign Harry Kane. An unrealistic transfer he'd like to see. Well, he said about the Messi one. There is unrealistic transfers he'd like to see, but the Messi one to PSG, which I said it was a little bit of news, and then boom, on that day, he's not continuing. It was madness, and obviously Messi is now officially a PSG player, which is unreal. Like, it's something you'd never thought you'd see. So I said to him, what top 6 club will make the next signing? It could be Arsenal with Martin Ødegaard, which I said he's been around for ages. I remember him being around from, like, for example, on FIFA 16. He was around on like as a youth on career mode. So he's been around for ages. We've known about him for ages. And he's a good player. I hope Arsenal lose tonight, 13th of August 2021. Premier League season starts. Arsenal versus Brentford. I hope they lose tonight. I've predicted 2-1 to Brentford, just so you know. United outgoings. Keep an eye on Jesse Lingard and Andreas Pereira. And Jesse Lingard is a big professional. Fabrizio said to me, he's a big professional. He will always train and be professional and respect the club, etc. There's chances for Andreas Pereira and Jesse Lingard to leave, just so that's clarified for you. For me, if it was me, if I was in charge of United, I'd be getting Phil Jones out the door. I'd be getting Jesse Lingard out the door. I'd be getting Daniel James gone. I'd be getting Matic gone. I'd be getting quite a few players gone and get Declan Rice with all the money you make. I would. I know it doesn't exactly work like that, but that is exactly what I would do. Ask him if there's one transfer in the past. I'm reading off my notes. Ask him if there's one transfer in the past which could have been first to break the news on. What would it be? He said Cristiano Ronaldo to Real Madrid, and what a legacy. We both spoke about both Ronaldo and Messi in one podcast. What a legacy they've both got. Like, the 2 best players of all time, in my opinion. Fabrizio Romano said Ronaldo is his best player of all time, and then the second is Maradona, which obviously the late Maradona, he was an unbelievable player, had an unbelievable journey. Great player, just great, unbelievable. Liverpool signings, which I got asked to clarify. The need to sell to buy, which is what United are being told as well. We're being told this by news sources. We need to sell to buy outgoings. I hope you don't sign anyone else, by the way, except for Canate, Liverpool. I hope you don't. And that was it, basically. That was it. He supports Watford. I knew that already, but I know some of you have asked me to ask him, and he supports Watford. So, yeah, that was it. I thank you guys for being on this journey with me, by the way. It's massively appreciated. I love you all so much. 1 week ago yesterday, we were on 454 subscribers. We are now currently, as I'm recording this, on 803 subscribers, which is unreal. The growth is unreal on Twitter and YouTube. If you want to contact me on my Twitter is @United always. It's scrolling across the bottom there. And thank you guys so much for this. I love you all. I've been very nervous about this. I hope you'll stay with me on this journey, and we'll try to get more big guests on. This is make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with all your mates, all your family. Get this to like 10,000 views, hopefully. Fingers crossed. This has been Kian from Football Obsession, and I'm out.